out. Hosmer looking good. If he keeps it up going into the All-Star break, do we look to trade him? Another good question. Maybe Lamet and Weathers for some good talent dump contract. Okay, so Hosmer again here tonight had a base hit. Hosmer also walked, so he's getting on base. He's hitting 376. I mean, he's actually had a higher batting average this year than Manny Machado, which is impossible to imagine. I don't know. I mean, this is another. There's so many really good questions around this Padres team right now. Whether it's who gets moved to the bullpen or who gets relegated to AAA. Would you consider moving Eric Hosmer? It's almost comical to think that you wouldn't consider that based on what people have said over the last 3 years with Hosmer. But, new lease on life with Bob Melvin has put together 1/6 of the season like this. That, is it realistic that he does this for an entire season? Probably not to this level. But could he hit, 315 with a 400 plus on base percentage? I don't know. I mean, is that possible? I mean, is that possible for a full year for Eric Hosmer? I haven't seen anything so far that would lead me to believe that this is a mirage with Eric Hosmer. In regards to the possibility of moving a Lamet or a Weathers, I'm 100% on board. I think one or both could absolutely be out the door at some point in 2022. I think if it returns you what you're looking for, whether that is additional relief help, if that's an additional corner bat, if that is even talent that better suits your organization at this time, I think that all options should be considered. I've said a lot recently, the last couple of days on the radio and on the wrap-up show. I'd be surprised if Dinelson Lamet finished this season as a San Diego Padre. I really would. I saw Kyle Glazer from Baseball America yesterday said, we pulled it up on the wrap-up show. He said that he thinks Lamet needs the new lease on life, could be a starter again. And he thought the Padres could use a middle infielder, which a reserve middle infielder. I don't know about that. I mean, because of Abrams, I think is what he's saying. And Kim's been good, but what do you do if you need to give Kim or Cronenworth a blow in the absence of Tatis? But how far out are we from Tatis now? I don't think we're that far out. He's doing baseball-related activities. Now he's not swinging a bat. But then again, it's only May. And he's not even eligible to come off until June. So I'm not overly concerned about this reserve infield position. I'm more concerned about the middle of this bullpen. That's what concerns me right now. I think this is a very good point, though. Could they move Dinelson Lamet or Ryan Weathers? 1,000%. Could they tie one of those two players to Hosmer? I don't think there's enough value in Lamet to use him as a linchpin to move Hosmer. Is there enough value with Weathers? I think there's value with Weathers. How much? I don't know. He's very young. He's had success. He's toiling a little bit. I know he's coming off a very good outing at AAA. So, yeah, these are good points. I mean, this is all a possibility. Again, if you're just getting into the wrap-up show here tonight, John Schaefer hanging out with you. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you're with us on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're with us on Twitch. Make sure to hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when we go live. Please smash that like button and follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD, at John and Jim as well. Michael, thank you again for the super chat from Mexico. How would you justify to the team trading Hosmer if he stays hot and the team is in playoff contention? Well, this has been the question even when Hosmer hasn't hit. This has been a concern among those that are fans of this team, media members that cover this team, that how would the team react based on some of the public comments we've heard over the last 2 years? Manny Machado has been very outspoken in support of Eric Hosmer. They've clearly developed a very strong relationship over the last 4 seasons playing together. Fernando Tatis. Eric Hosmer went to A.J. Preller at the beginning of 2019 and advocated for Tatis to be on the big league roster. Clearly, the relationship is a strong one. Eric Hosmer, as we know, is a consummate teammate. There's no question about that. These are important questions that need to be considered because when you go back to last year's trade deadline, I don't know if they considered the repercussions of making moves or not being able to make moves or trying to trade players that ultimately were not traded. I think they kind of went into it with 1 foot into the pool as opposed to 2. You acquire Adam Frazier without a plan. The plan may have been, well, we're going to move a player like Eric Hosmer, therefore move Jake Cronenworth over to first base, at least in the short term. It never developed. I think now you got to be fully buttoned up if you're going to consider doing something like that, as crazy as it sounds. I mean, if I had to make a bet, if I had to make a bet on it, it would be hard for me to bet that Eric Hosmer would be moved this year. I'd have to bet the opposite side. I'd have to bet that he would stay because of all the dynamics. They've tried to move him before. His relationship with Bob Melvin, at least over the last 2 months, going back to spring training, and then his relationship in this clubhouse and what he means to this team. And if he means a lot to this team and he's producing on this team, then why would you move him? If he means a lot to this team and he's not producing, like 2020 and 2021, then that's a completely different question. That's a completely different conversation.